I got to talk with my new program mentor yesterday. And so I want to make a video just kind of talking about that, give you some updates on my new program mentor. And then I, of course, know all of the classes that I'm going to be taking. I now know the order of every single class that I'm going to be taking. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about that. I'll tell you the names of every class, and then I will tell you the order that I'm going to do them in. I have already talked about my old program mentor in 2 other videos, so we're not going to do that anymore. Now we're going to focus on the new program mentor that I got yesterday. And let me just tell you straight up, my new program mentor is awesome. Love my new program mentor. She's a complete night and day difference from the one that I had before. And I wasn't sure about requesting a new mentor because I was like, well, damn, my new mentor might be even worse than the first one. But no. My new program mentor is awesome. If you guys saw my video yesterday, then you would know that the bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and information assurance has changed. And so one of the questions that I asked my new program mentor is, hey, how is that going to affect me? Because, for example, there's the English Composition 2 class that I have to take, but that's not a part of the new degree. So how does that affect me? And what she said was, it's actually not going to affect me at all. Apparently, once you're like enrolled in WGU, you're enrolled and locked into whatever kind of degree plan that you had at the time you started. So there's not going to be any new classes that's going to be added for me. None of my classes are going to be removed or anything like that. I just have to take what I have to take. So if it takes me another 3 years to get the degree, then it just takes 3 years for me to get the degree. But I will still have to do that English Composition 2 class and all of the classes that came with that original degree at the time that I started. All of these new classes from the new degree, like the Python class and the health, wellness, and fitness class, it's not a part of my degree. I don't have to do any of those classes. So then we started talking about the classes that I do have to take. She pulled up my degree plan and she's like, I can see that your old program mentor has already set your first 4 classes. And she asked me, she was like, are you okay with these classes? Is that what you want to do? And I was like, well, no, actually. And so I proceeded to kind of explain to her the first 4 classes that I wanted to take, why I wanted to take them, and then kind of the order that I figured that I thought would be a good idea. And after talking with her, she listened. She listened and she was like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let me just make some adjustments here. And she literally went in the system and she changed it and she pretty much made it so I'm taking the classes that I wanted to take first. Just that quick, just that easy. And then there was one more thing that I asked her about because my prior program mentor told me that even in the first term, I can only take 1 class at a time, which was going to be a big problem because the first class I was supposed to take was the one that required me to get the ITIL exam. And I was like, well, there might be times when I have to wait to get the voucher, wait to schedule the exam, wait until the exam day comes and things like that. And so I was like, is it possible that I can do another class in between that first class? Because I don't want to just sit and wait. I am off the entire first week of January, and it is critically important to me to be able to just jump in there and try to get these classes done in that first week best I can, because it's the most freedom that I'm going to have because I don't have to work that week. And I mean, my new program mentor, she was like, yeah, sure, not a problem. I'm telling you, man, my new program mentor is so awesome. Like she's like, I don't know. She's not really soft spoken, but like she didn't have that like mean kind of condescending tone that my last program mentor had. Like, I can just tell by the way that she talks that you can tell she likes her job. You can tell that she cares about the students. You can tell that she's willing to work with you. And that is critical. And it is huge, in my opinion, towards not only my success, but the success of other people and other students as well. So yeah, that whole situation looks like it's fixed. The class order is good. My program mentor is good. And I don't really have any problems at all at this point. I should be good to go on the first. And with that out of the way, let's talk about all the classes that I have to take. It's important for you guys to know because I can tell that a lot of people have kind of joined recently and stuff. I did a lot of preparing for WGU using study.com, Sophia Learning, things like that. I transferred over 70% of my degree already. I created, graphs and charts and things to track everything along the way. In fact, a lot of that stuff is really just in videos, on this channel because I kind of documented the whole thing from the time I started till now. But anyways, the end result of all of that is that I now have 10 classes left And that's it. Once I finish these 10 classes, I will have my bachelor's degree. And so what I want to do is I just want to kind of quickly talk about the classes as I think they are. And, you'll see the order that I am essentially going to be taking them in. Oh yeah. And one last thing, you're going to see the classes broken down into term because WGU assumes that I am going to take 3 terms to finish my bachelor's degree. You usually get like an average of 4 classes per term. And so the classes are broken out into terms, but in my particular case, I'm going to try to get everything done in the very first term. That's in the first 6 months. In fact, I'm going to try to break it down even faster than that, and I'm going to try to get it all done in the first quarter of the year, which is January, February, and March, but that's for another video. The first class on the list that I need to do is Business of IT Applications, which is C846. This class requires you to pass an external third-party exam known as ITIL Foundations. This particular exam is not an exam that I'm even remotely interested in. I specifically requested for this to be the very first class that I take because I don't want it to linger, because I know it's the one that's going to be the most annoying for me, and it's the one that has the most boring and dry material out of everything else. I actually passed this exam in 2017, but WGU has a rule that certain certifications, because they don't automatically expire, you need to get these certifications within 5 years. And if it's over 5 years, they will make you retake the exam for whatever new version is out there. And I passed the ITIL exam in 2017, which means that it is over 5 years old. So I am being forced to take it again. And I say forced like it's a major thing. I actually agree with it. I think that if it's been over 5 years, you should have to take the class again. So I want to get this one knocked out first on my list. The next 4 classes are all considered like general education classes, the lower division classes. So, and this was by request as well. I just wanted to go ahead and knock these out. So the first class is C168, which is critical logic and thinking. It's my understanding, it's probably just really, common sense, thinking and making the right decisions, that type of thing. I don't know. I mean, I might be way off base here, but anyways, you have to pass a exam in order to pass that class. The next class is C456, which is English Composition 2. I know that this one is a performance-based exam, meaning that I have to write a paper. I don't know how many papers I have to write. Maybe I have to write 1, maybe I have to write 3, I don't know. But I know that I almost did this at Sophia, and Sophia would have required me to do 7 papers in order to skip this class at WGU. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just take my chances here. Next is C961, Ethics and Technology. This is not a class that should be very difficult. I've heard a lot of people have passed this class in a single day. In order to pass it, you must pass an internal exam. So we'll see how it goes. And that is what I am required to do for term 1. That could be the end of it, but of course I'm going to try to get all of this done in one term. So as long as I've finished those classes, then I can start doing the other classes one at a time. And so the next class that I would do is Technical Communications, which is C768. It if you've ever had a job as being a technical writer, that's pretty much what this class is going to be. I really don't like technical writing, but it shouldn't be a really big deal. It is the last of the general education classes anyway, so it's pretty much in that lower division. And in order to pass that class, it's a performance-based one, so I assume I'm going to have to write, a paper or two. But I'm not expecting that to be a difficult class. All right, so at this point, I would have taken all of the classes that I have to take that I really don't have any interest in. It actually gets pretty good from here because now it starts getting more technical, in my opinion, more hands-on, more in line with kind of things that I want to learn and things I want to do. So the next class is C839, Introduction to Cryptography. Now, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with cryptography as a whole. And specifically for this class, I think I'm going to be pretty fine with hashing and encryption. But when it comes to like certificates is kind of a weak point for me. So I'm going to have to deal with that. But it's okay. That's really going to be the biggest thing for me, though. This is probably going to be a class that I may need to take like a week or so just to make sure that I understand it, because I really want to pass it on the first try. And in order to pass this class, you must pass an internal exam. The next class is actually going to be difficult. It is C838, Managing Cloud Security. In the past, WGU used to have it as a requirement that in order to pass this class, you had to pass the ISC squared CCSP exam. This is not a beginner level exam. I don't even think it's an intermediate level exam. If it's like the CISSP, then not only would you have to pass the exam, which would fulfill the WGU requirements, but then you would have to go on to prove through a whole endorsement process that you have the required number of years of direct experience before ISC squared would actually give you the certification. It's difficult, and I have a feeling that so many people failed it over and over again that that's the reason why WGU changed the requirements. So now it's my understanding that this class actually has an internal exam that you must pass. And then once you pass the exam, if you want to, you can request to have WGU send you a voucher, and you can just on your own time go and attempt the CCSP exam. But yeah, this is going to be one that I actually need to take some time and study for, because it's probably going to be a difficult one. So next on the list is C844, Emerging Technologies in Cybersecurity. I thought that this class was higher on the list. I guess that there was a small change. Not a big deal. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to have her change this particular class. You know what? It'll be a nice break between that one and the next class, I guess. So this class is, I think it is a specialization class. So it's supposed to be one of the, it's not like a lower gen class. It is specific kind of to like security, but it is not supposed to be a difficult class. It should be pretty easy in my opinion. We'll see how it goes. But in order to pass it, it is a performance-based class. So it's got to be some type of paper or something like that I'm going to have to do. I specifically requested for this to be the second to last class that I take. And so the next one is D153, Penetration Testing and Vulnerability Analysis. This whole class is really technical, but it's also really like offensive security. I mean, it's pretty much in the name there. Pen testing, think like hacking, trying to get into systems and things like that. So yeah, this is the one that I am definitely the most interested in. I feel like having this class be last will not only be like a sigh of relief to me and a break, but you know, depending on how quickly I get the other classes done, I can really take some time and spend time playing around with this. I'm going to be really curious to see what kind of labs and tools and things they give me access to. And in order to pass this class, you must pass an external exam, the CompTIA Pentest Plus. And yeah, once you pass that, you get the Pentest Plus certification, and that's it. It'll be on to the last class. And in order to finish my degree, I must get C769, which is the IT capstone written project. I have no idea what the topic's going to be, what all I have to do there, but obviously it's going to be a big ass project, and I'm not really worried too much about it, to be honest with you. I have done lots of project management overall, and you know, just kind of with my experiences, you know, whatever it is, whatever scenario they want to play out, I'm pretty sure I've experienced it, and I can use some of the real world things that I've already had to do in order to finish this capstone. I don't know if I'm going to have to include like network diagrams and things like that. We'll see, but this is it. This is the big one. When I finally get here, I don't know, maybe I'll request a couple days off of work. I don't know. We'll see, but it's definitely going to be a big one. I'm pretty sure it's one that a lot of people stress out about, and I'm not sure if it's going to be really easy or really hard for me, but I think that I will be prepared when it comes time for me to do it. And that's it. Those are all the classes that I have to do. But to be honest with you, even though it's not that many classes, I'm not feeling super confident just yet. And it's just because I really like to keep myself in check. And so, you know, I am well aware that, yeah, while I was able to get study.com done pretty well, pretty quickly, while I was able to do Sophia classes very quickly in some cases, that doesn't mean I'm going to have the same experience at WGU. You know, there are people out there that have been able to finish a class at WGU or two in a single day. And that's awesome. And if I can do that, that'll be great. But I don't know. I will not know until I've seen that material, until I've actually taken those tests and taken those exams. So who knows? Maybe I'll be able to do it super quickly. Maybe I won't be. But either way, I am pretty excited for it regardless. There is still a bit of nervousness there, but you know, I mean, we're at the 11th hour now. I am less than a week away. Like on Sunday, I get access to this stuff. It's time to go. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to do it, but it's going to be a grind, and it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be, you know, mentally taxing, but I'm going to do what I need to do. As always, if you guys are starting in January with me, or if you guys are starting in February or March, whenever you guys are starting WGU, or if you guys are already in school, I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you on my next video.